Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just saw Spider-Man No Way Home last night. This is my video on it, my thoughts on it. This will have complete spoilers, so please, if you did not watch this movie, do not watch this video. Unless you don't care and you just want to hear my thoughts. But I recommend watching it. I thought, as a Marvel fan and a Spider-Man fan, honestly, one of the best Spider-Man movies that I've seen. And I really feel like this movie was Tom Holland's Spider-Man's origin story. So he has 3 movies, right? There's the Spider-Man Marvel trilogy, like in the MCU. And I really feel like this was his defining Spider-Man moment. And he grew as a character so much in this film. I loved this movie. When watching it in the theaters, I didn't feel like it had endgame levels of excitement. People weren't like screaming like, "Oh my god." People were clapping. People were sometimes screaming. I screamed a little bit when these are the spoilers are coming now, okay? When Matt Murdock came on screen, that show was my life for a little bit in high school. I freaking loved that show. And I was not expecting him to come out in this movie ever. Even though he was only in it for a little bit, that made my day. Just seeing him in the movie, I was like, that's my boy from Stardust. Like, I love him. Charlie Cox. And I was just like, oh my god, this is so good already. The whole movie was so fast-paced, and holy crap, the performances were insane, especially William Dafoe. I don't know what kind of crack he was on, but the type of acting that he was doing, that man was giving me like Joker-esque vibes. Like the menacingness, the like tension that he was giving off. I was like, this man is like, has the intensity of Heath Ledger's Joker. That's how I saw it. That's just the vibe I was getting, you know? I was like, this movie just had everything. And I was really afraid because the expectations for this film was so insanely high. I really wished that I didn't know anything about it before coming in. I really wish I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't even want to know Doc Ock was in it at all. I think it would have made the experience so much better. It would have given me that high I felt when I saw Daredevil in this movie, but like 10 times over. Because I would have felt that with Daredevil, and then the next thing you know, Andrew Garfield comes in, and I guess it's Tobey Maguire first, he comes in, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this is insane. But I was kind of expecting it. It was just really, it was a lot of good fan service, and so many tears. So many tears in this movie. Oh my god, I haven't been to the theater, too, in so long. Yeah, this was a great film to watch in theaters, and I definitely would suggest doing that if you haven't already. And also, I would rewatch it again. I would buy another ticket and rewatch it. I feel like Tom Holland's growth in this, I was really frustrated at him. I was so annoyed at the things that Peter Parker was doing, Tom Holland's Peter Parker was doing. But I think it made so much sense for his character development and his growth. I was like, you're such an idiot for this, and that, especially for the first scene when Doctor Strange comes to help him, you know? And Doctor Strange, he's like casting the spell, and he keeps saying, wait, but what about my Aunt May? What about MJ? What about this, and that? I was like, I know this is like the inciting incident, but it was so freaking annoying. But I also loved it at the same time. And holy crap, like, I can't even, I'm like speechless. Like, I can't even put into words my thoughts on this film. I just really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I just have to see it again too to like really have more compelling thoughts. I loved the ending credits scene as well. They didn't waste it like they did in Ant-Man. In Ant-Man, I was like waiting for the entire credits to roll, and then all you see is an ant on drums, and I was like, that's what I waited for. But anyways, I give it like a 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect film, but it's a film that can easily be enjoyed by everybody, especially if you have been a fan of this franchise. Specifically the Spider-Man franchises, like Andrew Garfield's, and oh my god, Andrew Garfield in this film, oh, he was so fine. He looks so good. I watched The Amazing Spider-Man, and I didn't even think he was that attractive, but then I saw him in this movie, and I was like, damn, he looks good. I am so sorry. That is, ooh, Andrew. I think that he did really, really well, too. Andrew Garfield, he stole the show when it came to, like, when the three Spider-Man were meeting up. He kind of stole the show, too. There were great, great fighting scenes. With that, he gave me tears, you know, when he saved MJ from falling. He learned his lesson. But the only thing that, actually, this is why I give this movie a 9 out of 10, is that it was kind of confusing for the time periods and the way that, like, time worked with this multiverse type of situation. Did Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man come in real time? You know, like, what time period did they come from? Is this, like, how long after Gwen Stacy's death is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man here? How is it for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Is it like 10 plus years or 15 years later, and then you're here, and then seeing Doc Ock again, like, after 15 years, and Green Goblin again after 15 years? Like, I just didn't know the timeline for that. So I was kind of confused with that, and I don't think they ever explained it in the movie at all. I am not sure, but I was really confused. And also, they kind of just, when at the very end of the film, finally in these films too, just kind of like Infinity War, actions have consequences, and they have huge consequences for Peter Parker, for Tom Holland, you know? And we really felt that with have him owning up to it and having everybody forget who he was. Also, is it just when they cured all of the villains, this is kind of off topic still, but when they cured all of the villains and brought them back to their world, did they bring them to the same timeline that, like, are they all just now living in their own timelines? Like, when they go, you know what I mean? Like, there's a maybe we'll talk about it in Doctor Strange or something, but, like, this multiverse type of situation, like, it's really confusing the F out of me. Like, it's making me feel like there are plot holes at the end of this movie. And I just, like, was like, what is going on? Like, I was so annoyed when I finished it. And also, so this is going back to, like, the ending of the film, what I was talking about with Doctor Strange, when he's casting out spell to have everybody forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, or that he even exists, you know what I mean? Oh my god, I love him, poor guy. He's, like, literally, he's just all by himself now, but at least his friends got to go to MIT. Anyways, when he's doing that, they just cut to, like, probably days later, weeks, hours, who knows. But they were at the top, like, when they were doing the spell, they were at the top of the Statue of Liberty. So did they just poof, magically get home? Or did they do the spell, have everyone forget Spider-Man, and then MJ is, like, at the top of the Statue of Liberty, like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, like, I was so confused. Like, how did they get from Statue of Liberty to their house? Or, you know, like, did they pop back in, and then, like, you know, I was just very, like, I don't know. It just that part didn't really work for me, or it confused me at least. Like, if someone explained it to me, then maybe I would totally get it. But yeah, that was it. Other than that, great movie. Like, so many points in this film had so many emotional beats, and it really hit. For example, like, with great power comes with great responsibility. They finally use that line for Aunt May, and that scene was so powerful because if that was me, if I was in that position, I definitely would feel like it was my fault, and I could see how Peter, he wouldn't want to do it anymore. And even though her dying wish basically was that he did the right thing by trying to help the Green Goblin and like stuff like that, But that was a very emotional scene, and I didn't see it coming, actually. I just need to see this film again. I really liked it, and it does live up to the hype. It lives up to all the hype, although going in it blind would have been the best situation. If you haven't seen the first two Spider-Man's franchises, like the Tobey Maguire one or the Andrew Garfield one, honestly, I hadn't watched them in a long time, so going into this, I don't think it did as much for me as if I were to watch those other ones. I think I would have had, like, because I didn't have to familiarize myself. So I would suggest watching those two franchises before you go watch this film. Because then it's fresh in your mind and you see all these people come back and it makes total sense and you don't have to think about it like, oh, like that's what happened in that movie and stuff like that, So yeah. And then the ending credit scene with Venom, at the end of Venom, in their post-credit, he was like looking at Tom Holland on the TV and he was like, oh, like blah blah blah. And I thought, like, oh, wasn't he supposed to be in this movie? Like, what happened there? And then he does show up, but it's in the end credits. So I was like, okay, we got that. So, yeah, that's my reaction, basically, to Spider-Man. I love talking about this shit, but I really want, like, I don't know, a conversation. So if anybody watches this video and you have thoughts, or you want to like have a conversation with me and like talk about it, please leave comments below and I will definitely reply to them and do all of that and like go on these discussions and whatever. So yeah, that is my video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, and yeah, go watch the film. Go watch it twice. Go watch it 3 times. I thought the character arc, and the lessons learned in this film were also so good. Like, as an actual film, not just like a Marvel, film, not a blockbuster film, but from an emotional standpoint, from emotional beats, for the arcs of like character progression, it hit all of those things. He starts off as an innocent boy, and he ends the film taking responsibility, having to own up to his having to, face his consequences and all that stuff. So yeah, that is just like a great all-around film. Has great rewatchability quality. And yeah, please comment. I'll talk about it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.